Hello, chess fans. Today we want to actually review one of the games between Alireza Firouzja and Ian Nepomniachtchi in the CCT Finals. Okay, so this is the CCT Final 2024, and Alireza is playing with white pieces, and Nepo is just playing with black pieces here. Magnus actually chose to play MBR, which we will actually cover those games too, be sure. And why not? Let's jump into the game and see what happens. As I just said, Firouzja is just playing white pieces and Nepomniachtchi with the black pieces there. So we have knight to f3, d5. It's b3, f5. This is the Nimzo-Larsen. Okay, this is the Nimzo-Larsen classic variation here. We have bishop to b2, normal move, so we just controlling this diagonal here. We have e6, just want to prepare, so he goes bishop to d6 or bishop to c5 here. After g3, knight to f6, bishop to g2, h6, castles, bishop to e7 is played. As I just said, bishop to d6 or bishop to c5 is also playable here. But Jan decided to go bishop to e7 here. We have d3, so the pawn push to d3 is that we want to actually go knight d2 or knight to c3, probably more stronger knight d2 comes to mind because we go rook to e1 and we want to push the pawn to e4. So that's the purpose of the move d3 here, guys. Okay, so after just castle, just castled here, we have, as I just said, knight to d2. Now the pawn push on the side way, we have a5, guys. So a5, he wants to go a4. Okay, he wants to go a4, and it would be actually problematic for white bishop on b2 because a3 is just going to happen next move if white doesn't do any action for that. So this is kind of threat now. But sorry if it just stop that. Okay, after a4 we'll just have a3. So if you play here, you can't now any further push your pawn to a3 because my pawn is on a3. So we have bishop to h7. You may ask why? Because d4 was just coming, and Nepo said to himself, it's good that I get away before he cheats my bishop here. Okay, so the more you may ask why c5 was not playable here. It is playable here, but okay, actually knight to e5 is possible for white. No problem if you place the move c5 in this structure. But anyway, we have bishop to h7, rook to e1. Now this idea is just coming, as I just said. Now the move e4 is just possible, and it is just played it. We have rook to e8, queen to e2, bishop to f8, h3, queen c7. We have e5, so hitting the knight. We have knight f to d7. We have g4, so Firouzja just starts pushing the attack, the area attack, the king. So g4 with the idea of g5, okay, and h4, maybe change it to bishop to h3. Wait, let me just to g1, okay. So these ideas come to mind. Okay, but anyway, we have now the move c5, getting played. We have now g4, and at this moment it was very surprising for me that um, Jan just took some seconds, took actually 10 seconds, and played immediately the move a4, which is actually the best move here, guys. Mm, we have g takes on a6, g captures back, recaptures the pawn on h6, we have knight to h2, and the plan could be knight to g4, then here, then take to threat this pawn, so you must really be careful here, okay? But Nepo goes with his plan. Knight to c6. We have knight to g4, knight to d4 from Jan, and after takes, we have knight to f3. So this pawn is just hanging here, and here Jan decides that okay, I have plan, I can just take back, take, and play queen to c3 in this position. So I'm just defending the pawn, and I'm also attacking your undefended pawn on b3. So yeah, and also this threat is much stronger and perilous for black. Okay, um, so Firouzja actually thought deep and played the actually clear move of defending this pawn on d3 with the move bishop to f1. Okay, nice. We have rook e to c8, and after rook to ec1, he could have actually taken for the two roots. He could have actually gone this, but maybe he just feared of this and this. I don't know. Rook to a1 now just takes. Oh, you have this grand bishop takes on d3, so you are actually in deep trouble now. So queen to d2, and the plan of just taking and double attack on the pawn on h6 and the rook on c1 is not possible because you're not actually able to do this because of this pin of the um, 8th line. So actually that's why I think that Jan didn't play this right. So he took on b3, which is nice move. Okay, we have rook a to b1, and he could also have taken this pawn here. No problem. Maybe just after this variation, game continues. Yeah, knight to c5 or knight to c5 is somehow problematic here. I don't know. If you put the engine away, if you put the engine away, and you think it's just getting worse for me, it's king to h8. If you take, then bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, or wait, or maybe bishop to g6, attacking both. Then rook f8, rook takes f8, queen d2. Okay, king to h7. So you can't take because of this. Okay, at least draw, at least. So if you want to win, you have to play king to h7 this round. This is not the main line, I'm just saying, okay? But let's go to the main line that they just played this. So Nepo just didn't capture this pawn on a3. He went queen to a4. Nice move, not a bad move at all. We have rook takes on c8, rook takes back on c8. We have rook takes on b7 after bishop 2, and this was actually a tactic tactical issue. Now, Jan must be careful here, okay? If he plays like this, attacks the rook, says thanks, I just take it. If you take, I just have this fork and you lose your queen after king to g7 to h8. Doesn't matter really. That's why after here Jan played the move bishop to g7. So what does the bishop g7 do first? It just strains these weaknesses, okay? And there is no anymore tactical issue with the rotates on d7. So bishop to g7, queen to d2. Now we are just attacking this pawn here, and queen retreats to c6, attacks the rook on b7. We have rook to a7, rook to a8. It's kind of blunder for Young, that right? A better move for him was the move h5. Okay, if you take it now, then we have queen to c1. We force the queen exchanges. Okay, and now if you take my knight here, I'll just take your knight after knight to e2. Okay, but if you take, then it is lost because this bishop is pinned. Okay, so this bishop, as I just said, is pinned, so you have to play knight to e2. Okay, so knight to e2, rook to e1, maybe knight to f4 is possible. Knight f4, not really, but because you just hang this pawn here. Because okay, bishop takes on e5 is possible, yes. But in this position, rook d8, and now you can take on g4. But that was not the main run. I'm just explaining to you. We have queen to b6. Oh, sorry. Yeah, queen b6. Oh, wait. Yeah, on rook a7, rook to a8. Blunder from Jan, and just explain to you now. Knight takes on d4. We have queen c8. Knight takes on h6. Nice move from Firouzja. We have bishop takes on h6. Rook takes on a8. So that's kind of intermediate move, you can say. Rook takes a8 was actually mandatory. Okay, because if you just take it, you just lose your rook. So you must be really careful. Rook takes on a8, queen takes on a8, we have queen takes on a6, we have knight takes on e5, and we have this plan queen to g5, and after knight to g6, nice move from Firouzja. Now h4, h5. Okay, coming, we have queen to a4, nice move from Yan. And we have knight to f3. Another alternate move could be just queen to d8 check, but after king to g7, queen to b6, nothing really much is happening here, guys, right? Because after queen to just a retreat pawn, white doesn't have any plans to continue the game that can easily win or just press black. So that's why queen to d8 is not a very great move at all. We have played, actually, Firouzja played knight to f3, we have queen to f4, takes, and here a4, and Firouzja was in this position very low on time. Jan actually played very fast, very rapidly, and just pressed Firouzja on time. And in this position, white is better. Okay, and here Jan made a blunder here big massive blunder. He could have taken this pawn with the bishop, not with his knight. Okay, but he took it with the knight. He took it with the knight, and uh, let's just see the blunder that he played. Knight takes d3, a5. Now this pawn can be stopped. We have a6, states, and the game continued. Okay, but what happens after bishop takes on d3? Your bishop on f1 is no longer supported. Okay, so for example, if you play here, go knight to e2, king to h2, then bishop to c4, and your pawn a6 cannot be just played yet, and you're just white is better here still because it has passed a pawn, but this is just brought by the bishop. But as I just said to you, Jan played it very bad move. I didn't expect from Jan to just play this. Knight takes on d3, we have a5, for sure. After knight to c5, it's just dream right. He has to play, and he has to sacrifice the knight for this pawn because it's just getting promoted. So takes and king g7, king h7, king h2. We have f6, bishop to b7, king to f7, and king g3, king e7, and after h4, h5, we have king to d6 and h6, and suddenly just actually backed up with his king to stop this pawn. Okay, we have knight to h4, king d4, and f4, king to f7, bishop to f3, bishop c2, bishop to g5, bishop to g4. Sorry, actually, bishop to g4 was a blunder from Firouzja because, as I just told you, he was just very low on time. He spent a lot of minutes on the opening and for the first 20 moves, so he got in proper time. Otherwise, he could win this game very easily. We have bishop to g4, but the best move was actually bishop to h5 here. After king to g8, we have bishop to g6. Okay, so now forcing the trade of bishops. Actually, if you play bishop to d1, maybe king to f2, and then run this way to stop this pawns here. Okay, so these pawns are just stopped, and we have the passed h pawn here. So, but Firouzja went for actually bishop to g4 and allowed Ian to play the move e5 here. So f5, Firouzja didn't want to take because it reached the draw here. Okay, so this is just now opened diagonal for the bishop. So Firouzja understood this and played the move f5, but it was not the best move at all. Again, we have if bishop d7 is played, if you take, now the difference is that bishop to f5 for white is just coming here, and at this time, actually, uh, because imagine this structure, okay? Imagine this structure here. We take, wait, okay. Imagine this, something like this. If you play this, then you are just lost because of just king to e3, and then we just have this idea, and This doesn't work because of king to g7 and it just stops this way. So, but as I just said, imagine that bishops are getting traded here. For example, wait, not this. You may complain about that. Take, okay, take. And if you play something like this, then we have knight to f3 and this pawn is stopped. And for example, let's say king to g6, and if you play something like f5, I can go here, and this position knight to e5, knight to e5, letting the black pawn pass once more, and we just checkmate the black king here. So, but as I said, play the move f5, king to g8, nice move from Yan, knight to f3, king to h7, knight to e1, threatening to take the bishop. We have bishop to e4, king to h4, king takes on h6, and knight to f3, and this position gets repeated, and they get really raw. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Okay, if you just like it, please sub to the channel and give the thumbs up. See you next time. Goodbye for now.